Hi. So, I didn't think I'd make another video for a while. I haven't really been up to it, but something has come up to my attention. And as somebody who has aspirations to be an author, I think it's kind of something I need to address. So, here it is. The weight of words, more specifically labels. Are words just words, or are they what we make them? Is a word on by itself harmful, or is it just the way it's used? And the answer to all these questions is yes and no. When it comes to, it's almost like a koan, isn't it? Like a word is a word unless it's, a word is a word just as it is unless somebody observes it and gives it meaning one way or another. That's pretty much what it is. But I think that's easy to say, but hard to execute, especially in terms of epithets and labels that we give each other in order to define each other and put ourselves in a box, and by doing so, go from there with the person that we are boxing. And I'm bringing this up because I've been on two different parts of the internet discussing this. One was when I called out somebody for using the "what race are you?" question, which if a person is of indiscernible race, other than like the major ones, whatever the fuck that means, and that people, especially white people, like to play the "what race are you?" game. Like they see somebody not white and they're like, "Oh, well, where are you from?" And if somebody says they're from here, it's like, "Oh, no, but where are you from?" Like they need to know your history, your race history. Like, where are your people from? Who are your people? Why do we need to keep doing that? And I understand that there's curiosity to know a people's history, like a person's history. Like you see somebody different from yourself and you want to learn about them. That's one thing. But the race question is just, why is that still something we're doing, and why do we still defend it? What's the point of asking what race you are if you're not going to use that information to put that person into a racially labeled box, and therefore use racial stereotypes in order to ascertain the type of person that they are? And I bring this to another thing because, yet again, having to do with race, is the use of racial slurs. And people say, "Oh, they're just words. They don't have meaning unless you choose to give it some." Well, yeah, they have meaning, and people choose to give them meaning. And if a word is designed to hurt somebody else, especially when it comes to something that is racially charged, especially in this day and age, when it feels like everything we do is racially charged, there's a problem with that. They're not just words. It's like people are saying that you should be allowed to call anybody whatever the hell you want now, and they're pretending that etiquette doesn't, like basic common sense, respect for another person, etiquette, these are things that are no longer being taught or respected because they're just words and it's just interpretation. And I call bullshit on that. I call bullshit on every single person that says that. Even people who I like and admire are saying these things, and I'm genuinely confused as to how they can say these things with a straight face and have such a character in which that I admire, except for this one ridiculous thing. Words have power. They always have. That's why being literate is so important. That's why thinking before we speak is so important. That is why words can bring down nations. And, well, okay, obviously I'm using hyperbole on that, but like words can be a tipping scale. We are a species that holds high value to what comes out of our mouths in terms of language. Language is a very important aspect to being human. And if we don't hold value on words, specifically words that we use to identify ourselves and each other, what's the point in having words then? Why aren't we still speaking in grunts or sign language? You know, if you say something racist to somebody else and you are surprised when somebody reacts to that, you're an idiot. You basically, plain and simple, you call somebody something racially charged or sexist or like chauvinistically charged, like assuming that all guys who want to work in like in the childcare industry are pedophiles, or that all women who want to work in the construction sites are gay. Like, you know, just that shit, that's harmful. And yeah, words, especially in those cases, matter. We're in an age right now where in this Western society, things like gender and sex and politics and things like that are becoming more and more fluid, and as a result, more and more confusing. It's almost like men don't know what being a man is like anymore. Women don't know what it means to be a man. That was a bit of a Freudian slip. Women don't know what it entails to be a woman anymore. And because these things are changing, and they're changing so quickly because of how easy it is to communicate with each other, things like etiquette and care for others and consideration for others in terms of words and word use gets thrown out the window, and as a result, and I don't think that's a sign of progress. I don't think that's a sign of us moving beyond those things. I think it's a sign of us ensuring that they continue on, and we have excuses to continue to use these epithets. And why? Why do we need to do these things? Like, why do we need to look at somebody and go and just like eyeball them, and then all of a sudden just name them like this, like this, like this? Oh, you have short hair, so you're a woman who has short hair, so you must like guys, or you have big tits, you must be a slut, or you're fat, you must be a glutton. You know, like, why do we have to do this? Why do we have to? Like, I understand back when our brains were hot wired for this kind of thing. It was a survival thing. We had to put things and peoples into categories in order to protect ourselves. But as our society is progressing and growing up, we no longer need these stupid handicaps anymore. These little stupid labels that do nothing except perpetuate ignorance and stupidity and cruelty and rudeness and racism and sexism, and just, we're not progressing because of this. Words have power. Words will always have power, and we have to remember that. It's just really hard for me to fathom watching a generation grow up and not understanding why some words have stigma. You know, like, I'm all for challenging the systems and asking all the questions, question everything, question this, question that. But then in lieu of that, or not in lieu, in addition to that, question, well, this word that is racially charged or sexually charged or just rude in general, why is it rude in general? If we stop asking ourselves these questions, we're not going to progress anymore. We're just going to be stagnant, and we'll wonder why, and we won't get it. We won't remember that it's what comes out of our mouths and into the ears of others that truly remain our legacy. Like, people get immortalized by what they say, and are we so naive as to forget such things like that? I guess my point is that, yeah, throw away a lot of the cowls of past things that have been holding us back, but basic decency and common sense, and not being a racist, sexist prick, that shit isn't fluid. That shit's black and white. It's just like eating too many Oreo cookies and you poop it all out. Shit's black and white. Anyway, that's it. Bye.